Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning La La Land. I'm Dr. Aaron.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jess Moye. This is Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also available on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
It is hashtag Friday Feels, and we talk all about dating, love, and relationships. And we're going to hack some of the new terms and ask the question, what are your goals in the realm of relationship?
Oh boy.
We want to know. We are America's first daily live streaming show, and we come together to know the truth, live on spiritual principle, and have some great times with some amazing human beings.
Indeed. Happy Friday, y'all.
It's not just the dress. I've got the Friday feels.
Woo,
and I'm so excited to welcome our very special guest. Good morning, everyone, back in the studio.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
We've got part of the musical genius behind Ruth Stevens in the house. Good morning, Steven.
Good morning. Thank you for having us here.
Of course. So we want to know, how does an artist like you start his day? What's your morning routine?
To crank the heaviest metal.
There you go.
Okay.
To wake up and hit the snooze button 3 times. That's when I know it's on.
Sure, the neighbors love that, right?
Wow.
Good.
It's not that loud, but it'll wake me up for sure.
Awesome.
And what about you, Rue? You're a jack of all trades in this 21st century music landscape. How do you start your day?
Mainly, I snooze my alarm about 5 times, and then it's sheer panic, grab a coffee, and then rush right to my car and jump into beautiful Los Angeles traffic.
Fantastic. I wonder what the number, like the average number of times people hit the snooze button, right?
I put mine across the room, so I have to get up.
Oh, that's smart, actually.
Yeah.
You got to hike for it.
Yeah, not going back.
Well, Nicole Gallison is in the house. She's a rising music and fashion photographer. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're so excited that you're here. We know you have a very special shout out to give to New York City this morning.
Yes, hello to everyone watching from Morrison Hotel Gallery in Soho. Hi, Julia. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Marcel. We love you, and thanks for tuning in.
Speaking of the Morrison Hotel, I mean, look at this. This photography is absolutely
gorgeous.
iconic. We're so excited to know more about all of your events happening. But first, tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
I've got a little alarm system, so if I wake up to Here Comes the Sun, I know I'm on time, and I've got about like 10 more minutes to stay in bed. But if I wake up to Good Day Sunshine, I gotta book it. Like, I am late. So. that's usually my morning. It depends on which song I wake up to, but.
That's awesome. What song did you wake up to today?
Today I woke up to Here Comes the Sun.
Touche, love it.
Love it. Henry Dilt is in the house. He is an iconic rock and roll photographer. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning.
So how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Well, I'm still a musician at heart. I used to be a musician before I became a photographer. So I stay up just about all night and go to bed at 3 or 4. And then I sleep till midday. And I wake up and I lay in bed for a good part of an hour doing a chakra awakening exercise that I learned from Carolyn Mace. And then I feel positioned, in the day. And I get up and make a cup of tea and turn the telephone on and see who called.
Good for you. You've got to be the one person in LA who actually turns off the phone.
Right?
Right?
Yeah, what a call.
Yeah, I love that. Fantastic.
Very rock and roll. Well, we're excited to welcome Kelly Gores back to the show. Congratulations, Kelly, on the launch of your book.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So now that you're a new mama, how has your morning routine changed?
Well, I get up, brush my teeth, and then run in to see my little baby wake up and greet the day with a smile. She's like so smiley in the morning, so it makes my day, and then I feed her and go from there.
That's awesome. I love the fresh breath thing. I have to be honest, it seems underrated, but it's really important. First thing.
I don't want to do that to my child.
Yeah.
She must get that gorgeous smile from her mama. Thanks so much for being with us today, Kelly.
Thank you.
We have got Robert Candle in the house. He is otherwise known as the Modern Mentor. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here.
So what's your morning routine like? How do you start your day?
I am the opposite of most. My body wakes up at 5:30, ready to go. Human design generator, start, wake up the kids, wake up the dogs, wake up the wife, and just go from the moment.
We would get along really well.
You and him?
Same.
Yeah.
Generator.
Love that. Well, Chef Crystal is in the house. She's a local celebrity chef, and she runs the Chef's Guide to Divorce. Good morning, Chef.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us. So how do you and your family start your day?
We start the morning out, well, my morning starts out with I set my intentions for the day. And I usually wake up to a foot in my back or something in my face. Kids sneak in the middle of the night. So I start my morning out usually, like I said, intention, and then we'll see what happens, what they're up to in the morning.
That's awesome. Nice. Foot to the back. Boy. That's a way to start the morning, I tell you.
Let there be sound.
Yes.
Yes. Every cup saves a pup. We have got the founder of Grounds and Hounds in-house, Jordan. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here and giving us this brew that actually benefits rescue. We're so excited to know more about you and this incredible coffee later in the show. But first, tell us, how do you start your day? What's your morning routine?
Probably predictable and a bit cliche. I wake up also with a foot in my back, but it's usually my dog's, so it's a little different. But a fresh cup of coffee, grab the leash, head out for a walk, and then I'm still somewhat on East Coast time. My body never adapted, so in the office by 7 a.m. and get the company rolling. But coffee, pups, kick off the day.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Can't go wrong with that. Well, thank you all so much for being with us today. We look forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
I love it. Well, we don't have a lot of time. We're going to get straight into this Friday Feels, you guys. It's all about dating, love, and relationship. And last night, Jess and I went to this great influencer dinner. I want to give a big shout out to Chris Winfield and Jen Gottlieb over at the farm. We went over with, I don't know, there's 20-something influencers, and it was the funniest night. Was it not, Jess?
It was fabulous. So it was hosted by Super Connector Media, and of course, they're Super Connectors. We're the first to arrive. I didn't know Aaron was going to be there. Aaron didn't know I was going to be there because it was all hush-hush.
Yeah.
So we're standing at the bar, catching up because, we don't really always have a chance to do that.
We did. We never talk. It's like literally, it's like, all right, we have to actually sit here and gab for a little bit, right?
And it was the perfect position to meet and greet some of the very interesting and eclectic guests that were there. Aaron, take it away.
So this one amazing, extraordinary human being comes over, and every single human being here we're talking top level consciousness, making an impact in the world, all this stuff. And that day, a bunch of them had gone down to this other retreat at this yoga studio, and Jen, who was put on the event with Chris, she comes over and she's talking with this gentleman that's talking to us and stuff. She goes, yeah, it's so funny. We went down to this event today, and part of the event is kind of yoga stuff. So we lay down at part of the day, and there's all these blankets, and I grab this one blanket and I pull it and I put it on, and he goes, yeah, I was watching her the whole time, and she goes, there's a pocket, and I realized in this blanket it's a pocket, and I pull out these sunglasses. She goes, well, this blanket has glasses that it has a pocket. She didn't put two and two together like it was someone's jacket, right? Oh. So she pulls in the next pocket, and she pulls out 3 condoms. And she goes,
wait, hold on a second. Is this somebody else's jacket?
Yeah, this is someone else's jacket. It's his jacket.
For a yoga blanket.
It was hilarious. So basically, he's going to these events with 3 condoms in his pocket, and we're laughing and laughing and laughing, and it became this big joke throughout the night. They said they've had connected so many people at these events. One time they had someone raise $100,000 for their documentary, and he goes, yeah, for a sex trafficking thing. So of course the jokes of the condoms came up, and then another guy stood up when he was sharing, and he goes, it's a little cold in here, and the guy goes, well, you can use my jacket. So then all the condom jokes started again. So the point is that I was interested in myself because I was like, why do I have this concept of programming of it should be bad or good or whatever if someone has 3 condoms in their pocket?
Yeah.
I wasn't reactive, but I was thinking, we have a lot of programming that happens around all this. What do you think? If someone has 3 condoms in their pocket, is this disturbing? Is it good? What do you feel about this?
I've got no opinion.
No,
I love that people are being safe. I don't know.
I totally agree.
It's never even occurred. When I was 16, 17, it occurred to me, but at this time in my life when I'm just working all day every day, it hasn't been on my mind. I don't know.
But I think
I have an opinion.
What do you think, Jess?
I just thought, oh, he's a little wild. I like this guy. It was interesting, and it was just a great way to really break the ice and connect. I was so grateful just to be included.
But we were laughing all night, and it was lighthearted. But it made you question, what is the program around this, and how far I believe I've come. Even though I'm not polyamorous or like to sleep around, but I just think it's interesting that you could just have a condom and just go out there for the day. It was so awesome. I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. So it was a great event, Chris and Jen. It was amazing, extraordinary human beings up to making a big impact in the world.
That sounds so awesome.
And I'm sure you'll see many of those who were at the dinner table with us last night here on this show.
Oh yeah, so many. We knew half of them there already on the show. So also just getting some funny, hilarious things of all the different terms and things and around dating, relationships, and love. Whether you're married or not, the whole value system is shifting, the point of it. So we want to know what your goals are and really getting clear of what works for you in relationship, what works for you in your sexuality, and that we want to honor that as long as you're not hurting anyone or whatever. Just getting clear of letting go of the programming and getting clear of what is really authentic for you.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
2 consenting adults.
Yeah, that would be good. Or 3, just kidding.
Whatever you want, as long as they're consenting.
Just kidding. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to our extraordinary guests about how they are creating lives that they love. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
It's a hot September day here on Catalina Island, and we are just miles from Los Angeles. I'm Justin Moye. Good morning, La La Land. And today we are celebrating the first annual Groove Island.
What's up, guys? I'm Sam Feld, and this is Groove Island.
My name is Brooke. This is Groove Island. Woo!
Groove Island.
Groove Island!
Groove Island! We're so excited to be here.
Welcome to Groove Island.
What's up, Catalina Island? My name is Sam Feld. How we feeling?
Most memorable moments for me today was setting the intentions.
Yeah.
What is your intention with Groove Island?
My intention is that everyone leaves here with new friends and new memories to last a lifetime.
Yeah.
And what's your experience have been like with these Groove fans, this Groove community? I know you haven't been to the festival yet, but I know it's not your first experience.
No, I've been to the cruises, obviously. It's amazing. Like, it's such a cool family, like music lovers. You guys come together everywhere around the world now in this beautiful location. I'm sure it'll be awesome.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land on #FridayFeels. It's all about love, and we love this woman right here. Kelly Gores is in the house. She is the writer, director, producer of the hit documentary Heal, which is touching and transcending millions of lives. And now she has finally had her book come out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And your new mama.
Yes.
Got 2 babies.
I mean,
the book and the baby. Yeah.
How in the hell did you do that? You birthed the baby and a book.
I mean, I'm tired. No.
Really, I think it's so incredibly admirable because you seem to balance it all.
I try. I try to practice what I preach. Sometimes I let the train, derail for a moment, and I have a meltdown. But for the most part, I just try to practice what I'm preaching, which is, self-care, meditate. Don't let things, just try to create space so you don't motherhood is very stressful. You're learning so much so fast. You're not sleeping. Your body's healing. It's a lot.
So you put a lot of the principles in practice. So tell people who have not seen the documentary or read the book, and the book's not out yet, but haven't seen the documentary yet, the premise of Heal.
Sure. It's kind of the science behind the mind-body connection and how our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions affect our health and our physical health. So, and also our body's incredible ability to heal. We are our own healers. The doctor may help us get on the right path, give us tools to support, set the bone, but the body heals itself.
And you've got some all-stars, of course, in the cast of the documentary. Can you talk to us a little bit about who's in the documentary? And
Sure.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra, Marianne Williamson, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Anthony William, the medical medium, Bruce Lipton, the list goes on. But
Peter Crone, big shout out.
Peter
So
Crone.
many amazing humans, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so lots of wisdom from many different sides, the science and the spiritual.
Michael Malura did the score.
Music.
I mean, all the tribe that you have around it is profound. It really is kind of almost like a very advanced secret meets really the medical issue. And so many people in the world are dealing with health issues. It's a phenomenon, especially with all the toxins that we have in our food, in our environment, and whatever. And so I just want to just say that I think that you've built something that is a staple for the future of consciousness in the realm of health. And I just want to I'm so incredibly proud of what you've done.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you. That means a lot coming from you.
Yeah, that's right.
So is there anything in particular you learned in your journey of documenting Heal and writing the book that has specifically helped you as a mother beyond self-care?
Yes, I mean, it's so funny. As when you're pregnant, I feel like, life has a way of giving you a crash course of healing so that you don't pass on your shit to your child. And not many people are aware and, to be able to handle it because it's pregnancy itself is so overwhelming. But I was, because of all my background and research, I was aware like, wow, this is more intense or this is coming up because life wants me to heal that aspect of myself or heal that unprocessed trauma or that negative, disempowering subconscious belief so that I don't perpetuate or pass that on to my child. So it was really interesting. Motherhood is like a crash course in consciousness.
Like an advanced master
Yeah.
class,
It
for
seems
sure.
like it would be almost overwhelming to own that responsibility and knowing I've got to clear all of this within myself so I don't birth this with my daughter.
It is. And again, it's, in the film too, it's like we want to encourage people to take responsibility of their health, but not, we're not to blame for things that happen to us, but things happen not to us, but for us, And so same thing with healing fast so that you don't pass on your shit to your child. You can't let it overwhelm you. You can't go, oh my God, I'm not perfect. I can't raise, life is unfolding. It's ever evolving. We're always learning. We've never arrived, so it's just, you do the best you can and just continue to practice awareness so that you can kind of teach and learning from the film between the ages of 0 and 7, so in utero to 7 years old, our brains are literally downloading the programs of your caretakers. So just to be mindful of that, because the better I do and the more awareness I can practice in mindfulness, my daughter will be soaking up that kind of energy, behavior, and belief system.
Just love it. So, of course, the documentary and the book are being different, very similar, but there'll be different sort of aspects. What do you love most about the documentary versus what you love most about the book?
Sure.
Yeah.
The documentary I think is really cool because it's very visual. So you go on this journey with the people that are on healing journeys, and so it's emotional. Michael Malura's music is really, music and sound brings a movie to life. So that's a really cool experience. It's almost a healing experience watching the film. The book, I was able to put almost twice the content into the book, so I got to expand a little bit more. I got to include other quotes from the experts that didn't make the film just because of time and story. So I got to go into a little bit more depth about the book. So
one of my favorite parts of Heal is the concept, and which we definitely know in science, is the concept of going into sympathetic and parasympathetic system. And basically, if we ever want to heal, we've got to go into a place where we are going into parasympathetic, where we are literally relaxing and rejuvenating. So how do you recommend for people to do that beyond, of course, sleep, But what are the things that because you've tried all those modalities and going through this journey with all the different healers, what have you found has been your number one source of rejuvenating?
Yeah, well, sleep is not to be underestimated. Yes. That's like when our body is designed to heal. So if you're not getting adequate sleep, you're really depriving your body of healing energy. But for me, it's meditation, hands down. I learned transcendental meditation, I think, 12 years ago. But I also have like a slew of guided meditations on my phone. I just think it's so important, especially now we're inundated with so much information so fast on our smartphones, and we need to kind of turn within, shut our eyes, turn off all that stimulation, overstimulation of the world, and just connect with our breath. And the more you practice it, the more space, the more you can respond to life, not react, and you get in touch with your intuition. And
so meditation, not tequila. That's
not gonna. Also, tequila helps.
All right. It's balance, right? It's all about balance.
Yeah, it's everything. Because if you think about how stressed we get over the whole day, and if we can have neutrality around stuff instead of being stressed about it, imagine how much more we can be in a parasympathetic state over the course of a day. Of course, sleep is for sure the state, but yeah, it's so important.
And it's, the good is so much more powerful than the negative. So we are constantly running this fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, because we're constantly in this chronic state of stress. And but say we're in stress 80% of the day, even if you can learn to get your body into that parasympathetic nervous system, rest and repair, meditate, do earth,
We're meditating right now.
Yes,
Kelly.
Drink tequila. No. Disconnect from tech and just really, again, connect with your breath, connect with nature, whatever. That overpowers. That has tremendous healing benefits that will overcompensate for all that stress we're under.
Kelly, please tell everyone where they can get the book when it's available.
Sure. It's available anywhere books are sold, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can always go to healdocumentary.com and purchase the film and the book there.
This is an icon right here, I'm telling you. You will already and will touch millions and millions of lives with this one documentary, one film, one video series. Incredible work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
I couldn't ignore the faint possibility of having hope in this insanity that we still could be, but we're stuck floating in between. From the unshared discipline myself to let the sparks die out, shattering anything that has reflections of you.
What? 10 seconds left. That's it.
Was it?
Oh.
10 seconds left. That was the curveball. Unintentional curveball.
That was the rush. You scared me. I was like, okay.
3, 2, 1.
Wow.
It was inside.
Okay.
Now,
Show
the
off.
camera.
up to you to choose the winner. Is it Annie? Is it Haley? Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. On hashtag Friday Feels, we always talk about creating lives that we love. And these two have captured these very special moments in fashion and in music for decades. I'm so excited to see the two of you working together, coming together. Henry Dill, Nicole Gallinson. How did you two meet?
Well, Nicole's mother, Jeannie Gallinson, is a producer. She produced a show for a musician friend of mine who had MS. And she wanted me to shoot the photos, and I said, well, I can shoot the show, but not the rehearsal. And then I said, but your daughter, and I'd met Nicole, and I knew that in high school she was photographing her friends and making little magazines. I said, your daughter could just shoot the rehearsal. She said, really, do you think so? I said, sure, let me talk to her. I said, just go there and watch people and frame it up and, Don't get in the way and find interesting shots.
The day after my junior prom, I'm shooting the likes of Howard Jones and Dionne Warwick, Shaka Khan by myself, just in this little rehearsal space in Van Nuys. And then we actually officially met the next day at the show.
That's right.
So you had seen my work, but we shot the show side by side. And I just remember after every song ended, I was just a bevy of technical questions. I wouldn't shut up. I was just like, what ISO do you use and how do you do this? And you kind of just took me aside and you told me something that stayed with me to this day. And you told me to just forget all of that. You know, the most important thing was to be present in the moment. And what was going on in front of me is what I needed to concern myself with and really focus on that. And it's something I think about even when I get nervous today. So thank you for that.
It's so interesting. And it's like so diametrically opposed to the way lots of people take pictures today.
Totally.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's documentary stuff, fly on the wall. That's what I do. I watch people, and you know, when it looks interesting, I push the button.
We only know selfies in today's world. You know, it's all about the selfies. So
Oh gosh, yeah.
So how have the two of you witnessed the community and the generations of music in the LA scene change and evolve?
I think at the heart of it is really Laurel Canyon. I mean, that's pretty much where a lot of the LA sound came from. And besides, you know, minor generational differences, I think the beautiful thing about the Canyon is that, you know, although the years have passed and the players have changed, the spirit is really still alive. You know, it's the spirit of the Canyon is still intact. And as long as there's, you know, a strong community of artists and musicians and creatives around to protect that, it won't ever change, nor should it. It's such a beautiful, historical, important place. And I think that's where a lot of Los Angeles' music and a lot of the greats in the industry have come from and continue to do so. So.
It's because Laurel Canyon is kind of like being out in the country, just 5 minutes from Sunset Strip, and you're out in the country. And there's no lawns up there and really no sidewalks, so it's hard to have a family and children. So actors and musicians live up there. So it's a whole community of you know, showbiz people. Yeah. And that's
kind of hanging out and creating.
It's kind of a miracle, I think, that when I think of bands, I think this has got to be the hardest thing, all the different personalities and different lifestyles, and they come together and they make this piece of art that it's really a miracle, you think about it. So what have you found is kind of the key things that you've witnessed in the different groups that you've seen that have people actually persevere in community?
I think trust is a big thing, especially in the industry. Feeling comfortable with who you're working with, and that, you know, even includes the photographer. And just kind of all parts just functioning and firing on all cylinders on the same level with, you know, the same intentions and the same goals, really. It's getting very clear on that, and all believing in the same goal and working towards seeing that happen.
Is there anything you guys have learned sort of through photography that's informed your life or the way you live your life?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How much time do we have?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a people watcher. I studied. I was studying psychology in college, and then I left college and became a musician, and then I accidentally became a photographer. So I'm just kind of going where the wind blows.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
Yeah. Well, I think you nailed it. I think that sort of natural tendency or curiosity around people and what they're about and what they're up to and what makes them tick makes you a fantastic photographer.
Yeah.
And
Well, being a photographer kind of gives you a passport into people's lives, because why else would you be at, you know, Truman Capote's house shooting a Rolling Stone cover, you know, or backstage with the Eagles or whatever. But since I was a musician, I knew how to hang out. And that's the main thing for musicians. You hang out a lot, you know, it's a kind of a club.
Yeah.
And if you get that vibe, you know, you can belong. You can be there.
It's all about the feel.
Definitely.
Right?
The vibes are very important.
The vibes are important, and the two of you vibe so well together. So tell us about the festival and what's happening next for you.
So I started hanging out in Laurel Canyon about a year ago. I was invited to shoot this Love Street Festival that happens every year, but last year was especially special because they were honoring the song Love Street in the 50th anniversary. So the city of Los Angeles actually decided to rename a portion of the canyon Love Street to commemorate the anniversary. So Robbie Krieger and John Densmore were there to accept the commemoration. Yes, and Michelle Phillips was there. You received an award from the city of Los Angeles, and it was just such a beautiful day, and that actually got me to meet a lot of people in the canyon and become friends with people that worked at the store or lived in the canyon. And it just kind of all blossomed from there. And I recently I've been really deeply connected to it in a way that I didn't realize I would be. But it's such a lovely place to be, and such a lovely day. That day was one of my favorite jobs I think I've ever done. It wasn't a job. It was magic. It was so beautiful. But coming up next, tomorrow night, actually, I'll be shooting Peter Frampton's show at the Forum. And his son, Julian Frampton, has a band, Julian Frampton Band, and they'll be opening. They've got a brand new EP coming out. They're incredible. Go check them out. If you're going to be there tomorrow night, I'll see you. Come say hi. And if not, definitely go check out Julian Frampton Band.
Wow.
Super cool.
Love the story,
And
guys.
what about Behind the Lens?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, tomorrow I get on a plane and fly to New York. Otherwise, I'd be there at the Frampton show. But I'm starting a week-long slideshow tour with a guy named Mick Rock, who's an English photographer, very kind of flamboyant English photographer, rock photographer, photographed David Bowie and Queen, did that famous Queen shot of the forehead.
So good.
So we're doing a joint slideshow. I'll do an hour on Laurel Canyon, and he'll do an hour on glam rock.
Wow.
And,
fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Super
thank
fun,
you
you
all
guys.
so much
Thank
for
you so much for
sharing
having
your art
us.
and the way you captured it. It's truly magic. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. It is hashtag National Sour Candy Day. We want to thank our special friends from Pucker Powder for treating us today.
Hey, I'm gonna what is this?
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a.
Leave it to the DIY experts.
A sugar hookah. This looks like what I would fill up my car with, the tires. You know, the air thing.
For those of you watching who haven't met Tanya Mimi, she is an Emmy-nominated host.
Oh my God, you're so.
Southwest House, Homer Colton family. She's a DIY expert, and she's always up for a challenge. So why not give her this sour? Here we go, Tanya.
Oh, come on. Shut up.
Woo! Oh my gosh! Oh my
Wow. Come on.
gosh! She's up for it.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. If you love music, you're going to love this segment. We're here with Rue, the band Rue. Hi, guys. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Thank you for coming on a Friday. Feels early morning. What's going on? What's shaking in the house on a Friday?
We had a really long night last night.
Did you?
Tell us what
Surprised
happened.
that we were able to get up this early.
It's still going on.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
We want to hear the details.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that.
It's morning, but you know, it's
Can you put a
digital.
call in to Amanda really quick, see if we can talk about that?
Gotta get approval.
What we are allowed to talk about is the incredible success of your EP. So tell us a little bit about the inspiration.
So I mean, the record's called Valenciaga. It's a 7-song record, and I pretty much wrote the songs just about like my experiences in my life. You know, I've been doing music since I was about 13 years old, and this is the first like lengthened record that I've made, the most amount of songs I've ever put together on a record and compiled, and it's for definitely the best body of work I've ever been a part of creating. But yeah, it's a play. I just recently moved to Valencia, so I've been a Valley kid my whole life. I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, born and raised out here, and I just moved to Valencia, and it was just like a total culture shock for me because it's so different out there. It's like everything's really chill. It's very family oriented. But yeah, so it's just like, you know, a play on words between the brand Balenciaga and Valencia.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, it's just fun, you know, just having a good time with it, and, you know, just the success that it's had, just from local support, like just in Los Angeles alone has been incredible. All the shows that have been playing have been sold out. Carlo and Steven both play live with me. Steven plays drums and Carlo plays bass and keys. But it's just been incredible. It's just been an awesome experience to just see people get behind something. You know, I think that, you know, it just feels really good when you got the sauce. It just, you know.
You know what I love about you guys?
Totally.
You guys just have this like vibe, like you go full in life. Like you go full in, like there's no holding back.
Rip harder, don't rip it all.
So were you guys born like this? Like what was the inspiration to say, you know what, I'm just going to fully go into this life. I'm going to like, you know, there's that saying like at the end of life, you want to have like your body's like torn to shreds because you used it and you loved and you lived and you did everything. Like you slide into home base, like you're barely like, you know.
Yeah, better wear out than rust out.
Oh, totally,
Right? Yeah.
100%. Well, I mean, I grew up in out here, and my dad was like a 1980s long-haired you know, rock and roll dude, you know. So it's been, I was like going to the Whiskey and the Roxy and Troubadour when I was like 3 years old and like grew up in that environment.
Wow.
You probably saw Henry there.
Maybe. But yeah, so I mean, that's just kind of like the environment that I grew up in, and you know, music's always been a huge part of my family's life. So I'm the only, like, my dad plays, but he's not like, you know, doesn't play professionally, but I'm the only like musician who's actually pursued a career out of it. But yeah, it's just been the way I grew up.
So what brought the three of you together?
Social media.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for Steven, yeah, for sure. I've known Carlos since he was like 15 or 16.
The first show I've ever been to, I was, I think, 13 years old, and I saw his band, in Blessing, and it was
Yeah, a long time ago. It was an old band of mine.
I've known him for a cool minute. Yeah.
Yeah, and then one day it was so bizarre. I was sitting talking to my friends. I was like, dude, I really need to find a live drummer to like play with me. And I'm not even kidding, within 5 minutes, I get a message on Instagram, and Steven sent me a message. He goes, dude, let me play drums for you. And I was like,
wow.
So,
yeah, it was so funny.
The story goes, I saw a post that he did on Instagram, and if you guys are familiar with Mel's Diner, he had the sign on the floor with keys and singing. I was like, how did he do that? This guy's rich. I want to play drums. like how? Like I was like, how did you do that? So I had to know and like hit him up, and I was like, if you're ever looking for a live drummer, dude, I'm kind of just floating right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, yep. And you know, I met him first, just because I wanted to catch the vibe, and it's like we've known each other for years.
Yeah, it just clicked.
He's my best friend.
You have a very unique vibe and style. Are there any artists, musicians that have been big inspirations to you?
I'm obsessed with Michael Jackson. I love all Michael Jackson's work, you know, musically. So yeah, I mean, it's just been a huge inspiration for me. I love Queen. Queen's another huge inspiration. Freddie Mercury's just incredible. I love Justin Timberlake. You know, so a lot of R&B influences. I actually grew up listening to a lot of rock and roll music, and then I got a hold of an NSYNC record, and it like just completely changed my life. So.
Me too.
We actually sang that karaoke last night.
It did, yeah. Yeah, they sang karaoke last night. They did Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah, people look at us and they're like, man, these guys are heavy metal guys.
Yeah. And they're crushing
and then they listen
Bye
to
Bye
this guy sing, and it's like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, the look
Like,
is
what?
yeah, it has like a rock and roll aesthetic to it. The look, and then you hear it, and it's, you know, it's pop R&B music. You know, so it's just a lot of fun. But when you see us live, like you listen to the record, and then you see us perform live, and it's a whole different experience. You know, I feel like when you go to a show, you're going there not to just listen. You're going there to see a performance. You want to be entertained. You know, so we really put on just a fun show and get everyone dancing.
So when and where are you playing next?
Unannounced right now, but we have something coming up in November. I just recently signed to UTA, which is
congrats.
awesome. Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Really?
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. It was actually yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So we got some really cool stuff in the works. We're talking a lot about some tours coming up in 2020. I'm not allowed to say who with yet, unfortunately.
So Hollywood.
So
Yeah,
hence the big night last night.
Right.
Yeah, that's why we
Last
celebrated.
night.
Gotta celebrate the new deal.
Well,
Yeah.
congratulations. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
You can find me on Instagram, Rue Official, Facebook, YouTube. Everything is ROUXX Official. And then, yeah, that's all my social
And what about
media.
you guys?
You can just find us through Rue Official.
You can follow Stephen Curiel Official and _ Carlo Alto.
There you go.
Stay tuned. Back
Amazing,
to
you
Morning
guys.
Law Land. Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jez Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch, or you can binge watch. Please binge watch.
You can binge watch and binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Entertainment that will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We're talking about love all day long here. We're talking about tough love and a bunch of stuff. So we have Robert Kandel in the house. He is the author of Unhidden, correct?
Unhidden, a book for men and those confused by them.
So that's everybody.
So it confused me too. So tell us a little bit about the book.
The book is a pragmatic guide for men and women in today's changing time to relate better, to understand what's happening in dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what we're talking at the beginning. Like everything's changing so much.
Dynamically.
So tell us, give us a scoop. We want to know how it's working out.
To make a very long story short, if you think about the patriarchy's been around for 6,000 years, depending on which historian you talk to. But what we're seeing is dynamic changes in the last 50. Or just in, if you go a little further back, the women's suffrage movement, 1848, the 19th Amendment, women's right to vote, 1920, less than 100 years old. And then as late as 1970, women couldn't even apply for a credit card without a husband's signature.
They still can't in a lot of places in the world.
Right. So in the last 50 years, there's been a significant change of dynamics of women rising and women's empowerment, the Me Too movement, and it's mayhem, especially between the genders and in social media. Things just get crazy.
The dating app, we were talking about earlier how there's all these terms now, ghosting, and there's bird boxing, which means that what was it again? Like
I can't keep track. It'll change tomorrow.
I mean,
it's
like
fine.
all these different terms, and everyone anything goes. Which is I think is really cool. It's like the breakdown before like the reorganization of it kind of.
So
thing.
Robert, in your opinion, as women are stepping into their power, both on and off screen, right? We've seen the likes of Superwoman, which was incredible. There may be a female sitting in the Oval Office. How can we support men during this?
Well, the most important thing is just to acknowledge two things, that things are changing, and two, men are horrible talking about their feelings. And so we have the double-edged sword of thinking that there's so much going on inside of us, but we don't have permission to say, we're scared, we're nervous, I don't understand, how do I do this? And in that silence, that's where the chasm between the genders. So women stepping up and saying, I want to know your inner world, I want to be your teammate, I want to be your ally for your evolution.
But how do you say that without scaring somebody away?
Well, the most important thing is, there's two levels. We're changed by inspiration or desperation. So you want to wait till we...
Fear or desire.
Right.
Usually desperation, apparently. Not
right. Do you want to wait until the relationship is so discordant, so many issues to bring up these things? Or do you want to say, hey, I saw this great book, I heard this great podcast, I saw this great movie. I want to know more about you. I don't really know what it's like to be a man in today's world. I want to understand your world.
I love that. I think one of the biggest mistakes I know I did for many years, and I witnessed a lot of my girlfriends, is we want to help fix and change by critiquing, which never works.
Yeah. Called nagging.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's called nagging.
Well, what most women do is they have the thought of something wrong at, let's say, time equals 0. And then they think, well, it'll get better. And then like it's a day, and then it's a week, and then it's a month. And when it finally comes out that time has added so much sensation and so much energy to it, what comes out is it's a scream rather than the time 0. Hey, I noticed when you did this thing, it didn't feel good to me. Can we talk about that? So really, in the moment, expressing what's happening is so important.
I need to be better at that.
We can all probably get
So
better
what
at
else
that.
is changing? So you've got this, the book is really about the gap between the man's emotion. Is that the primary basis of the book?
The basis is really communication.
Okay.
First and foremost, communication with self, to acknowledge, to confront what's happening. And then how to communicate that to another, your intimate friends or your intimate partners, your family, your friends, your workmates. How to actually start to express the dynamic world that happens inside men that they don't feel permission enough to say. So it really is a pragmatic guide how to go from internal to external.
Just fantastic. I think one of the other challenges that we have just as human beings is sort of knowing the difference between sort of like listening, active listening, reflecting back, with just and providing space for a person to share, and then fixing. Right? So how can we help each other through all of that? Like, how do we know when it's okay to step in and help them fix versus just listen and let them be fully expressed?
I think the concept of consent is always the way to do it. Like, hey, I've noticed this thing about you. I'm wondering if you want to talk about it. It's called a communication bridge. It's a setting up of a communication. What often people do is they're kind of unsure, and so it comes out really like energetic. And when you build consent, you invite that person to the conversation rather than just basically vomiting your opinion on them.
It can be a tricky thing, I think, because you know, I work with the subconscious mind and triggers from past things. So in relationship, people come with if they haven't done their inner work, you're just literally talking to somebody that just has trauma from the past that is just projecting and reflecting through your relationship. So for me, I'm like, unless people have done their own inner work, like I won't work with couples. I'll only work with the individual. And then there you go.
There you
right?
go.
See?
GPS, that
there you
internal
go, right?
GPS.
So
help me out right now.
So I will not work with couples because until they've done that inner trauma work, you're just going to reject it. And I agree fully with the communication, but once you've done that inner work, because otherwise you're just like, you're making me feel whatever. It's not me, it's your past stuff that's making you get triggered through the situation.
Right. Well, we go down to the concept either I'm innocent or you're guilty. And so in order for me to be innocent, you have to be guilty. And the higher level is, oh, we're co-creating the situation. We're co-directors of what's happened to our relationship. So 100%.
100% responsible on both sides.
And men, just the ability to do their own inner work, permission, inspiration. There's such great teachers out there. There's such great information out there. Right. And if you're not totally in love with your life, there's always ways to make it better.
So good.
Well,
Love that.
Thank you for uncovering some of these secrets about the modern man, Robert. We really appreciate it. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you.
Everything can be found at robertcandell.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We'll be back tomorrow on Good Morning La La Land.
Hi, I'm Dr. Erin, host of Good Morning La La Land on EverTalk TV. I'm a doctor of divinity and I absolutely love being a host. And the reason why is because each day I wake up and I come into the studio and I'm always blown away by the amount of different stories coming together. My mission is to awaken 1 billion people. And I have been blown away to realize that it's not just the spiritual people, that we talk to people that are on reality TV, we talk to actors, we talk to people who have had incredible stories and trials and triumphs, and there's a common denominator between all of them. Every single person desires to have a greater life and awaken to the best life they can live. I'm Dr. Erin, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV.
Every cup saves a pup. I couldn't be more excited to welcome Jordan Karcher to the show. He is the founder of this incredible coffee company that is Grounds and Hounds. You're taking it from New York to LA. Welcome to La La Land.
Thank you. I'm excited to be out here.
So what was the genesis for this incredible coffee that gives back?
So when I was 24, I was just walking to breakfast. I lived in Los Angeles, and I came across a pop-up dog adoption in Santa Monica. And a little brown and white Dalmatian crawled in my lap and tucked her nose in my jacket. And with no plans at all, I just looked up to the woman. I said, what do I have to do to leave with her today?
No.
And so that's which that's how all good things start in my mind. So Molly is the Dalmatian who came into my life, and you'll see her on all of our packaging.
Is that Molly right there?
That is. So she's the inspiration. She's been with me for 8 years now. But what happened is I started working with rescue organizations in my free time. And I said, I want to volunteer. She brings a lot of happiness into my life. Countless other dogs don't get this second chance. How can I help? And when I was working with rescue organizations, I started looking at it at a broader level of, what is the issue? It's not necessarily just more volunteers, but how can I address this at a systemic level and make an impact nationally? So I looked at from funding. How do you create continuous revenue or continuous funding to organizations who rely on grants and donations? So I then looked at my background, which was originally in wine and spirits and beverages. So I did marketing, analytics, and I started looking at the coffee industry. And I said, well, I wake up, I have a cup of coffee every morning, and my dog joins me, and it's my favorite part of the day. If a fraction of the coffee drinkers out there feel the same way, we might be able to make a difference. So the concept of Grounds and Hounds was great coffee, greater purpose, and that is really just how the whole impetus began.
And you've provided over 1 million meals to different shelters at this point?
Over 3 million now.
Wow.
We've transferred 3,000 plus dogs. We've worked with 400 rescues throughout the country, and it started out of my grad school dorm room by selling my furniture on Craigslist and just bootstrapping. So we started with a website and 6 blends of coffee. That was in 2014. Now we've done over 250,000 in donations, and we're probably one of the faster growing coffee brands out there.
Jordan, I mean, this is why we do this show. Like, this exactly is what keeps us going, what are we doing? Like, thank you so much. Like, I'm just gonna get choked up because this is what it's all about. This is, for me, this is what the innovation and the entrepreneurship and the ability that we have to do something where we love our coffee and we love our puppies and how we can make it. I mean, it's so touching what you're doing.
Thank you.
Really and truly.
Thank you.
When you started, did you expect that it would get this big?
I set lofty goals, so I think we still have a long way to go. We're just scratching the surface on what we'll do. But I didn't necessarily know. I was 25, and I mean, so I'm irrational and overly optimistic. I was way smarter back then. I like to say it was before you know things.
As most entrepreneurs should be.
Exactly. It's that perfect time where you just think you can't do wrong. So I started it, and I didn't really know where it would take me. I had no idea what I was doing. It was my first company, so it was definitely a laying track as the train went process. And as we figured things out, we've really honed in and understood the dynamics of e-commerce, direct-to-consumer sales, the coffee industry, wholesale, retail. We've been able to expand in both areas. Our coffee subscription program's really rapidly grown. Our social media and content creation has become a big piece of what we do. So you can find videos of my dogs throwing each other Christmas parties. So it's not just your traditional, here's our coffee, let me talk about coffee. We're much more about, here's the community that we're creating and how you can become part of it by drinking our coffee.
But the coffee itself is really
Thank you.
good. 100% organic. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so coffee, it's my passion is to make a great cup of coffee but not talk about it. I want the customers to make up their own mind and decide what they think of our products. But it's all 100% Arabica, fair trade, organic. We use small batch roasting on a 1956 Probat drum roaster, so rebuilt old roaster. It's all done in a European style, so it has a really nice savory and smooth, kind of robust, silky style, so not that tartar acidic coffee that you'll find in a lot of cafes these days. We have everything from breakfast blends and single origins to dark roasts and decafs. We have a whole line of hot chocolates now that are heirloom hot chocolate from Ecuador, so it's a really amazing product. But we believe great products are what make the mission move forward. We're not a charity brand as much as we're a coffee company, a CPG social impact company that happens to do good, and that's integrated into why we exist.
Wow.
Fantastic.
I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that.
Incredible,
Here's
right?
to love, right? I mean, what a
Yes.
beautiful, lovely, lovely company. Tell them where everyone can buy their subscription.
Yeah, so the easiest way is at groundsandhoundscoffee.com. So you can find everything that we offer on that site. We have gift subscriptions, so if you're thinking about the holidays, this is a good time to check out some stuff. We obviously have a lot of mugs, we have apparel, merchandise. We have programs called Grounds Crew, so if you have local rescues, you can actually support the organization nearest to you. So if you go in and your organization's there, you can allocate the funds to go towards them. So it's a way that we can make a difference at a local level, but still appeal at a broader national level.
Thank you for the work that you're doing.
you.
Really, truly. Wake, brew, rescue, repeat. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land. I'm Jasmine Moyeg, host of Good Morning La La Land on EverTalk TV. As a little girl with big dreams, I couldn't stop talking. I turned that into a career at premieres, at red carpets, and even a talk show. And recently, I had my aha moment. I was hosting a live event. A woman who represented a national cancer support community gently pulled me aside from the glitz and the glam, and she thanked me for mentioning their program on my show. Because of those few words that I had spoke on air earlier that week, one of our viewers battling cancer reached out and got the financial and emotional support she so desperately needed. I'm so grateful to have experienced that moment, a moment that truly reflects how much conversation and community matters. We need more of what matters. It is my passion and purpose to create content and lead a conversation that will ignite the light in my community and empower them to live their best lives, starting today. I'm Jasmine Moyeg, and I'm a host on EverTalk TV. Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. Stephanie Sandor is in the house. She's a singer-songwriter, and we're celebrating the release of Clarity. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me.
We know you're a friend of the Ever Talk fans. Special shout out, of course,
Yes.
to Emma. So tell us a little bit about your journey to becoming the artist that you are.
Yeah, I've been singing my whole life. I've been in choirs, and I was exposed to music at a really young age. My dad was always playing the Beatles and the Eagles, so I just kind of grew up loving music. And once I got a bit older, I started really developing a passion for writing, and that's when it kind of took off. I just started in my room. I would go home every day after school and just start writing songs, and eventually it turned into something that I really wanted to do full time. So
Wow, that's
yeah.
incredible. So what allowed you to do it full time?
Yeah, you know, well, I was working in a corporate job when I graduated from college, and I just made the executive decision to do this full-fledged,
Yeah.
give it all I got.
You had clarity.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. So
tell us a little bit about Clarity.
Yeah, so the idea behind the song is, you know, I think 23 is a hard age because you're an adult, but you don't necessarily have all the answers yet. And I think the song is really just about this idea of feeling like you're getting older, but you're not really getting wiser yet. And I felt a lot of frustration with that. So yeah, the song's just kind of about that in-between stage of learning more about yourself, figuring out who you want to be, and growing but wanting the answers and not having them yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
We can
kind of
all
the
relate.
idea.
Oh man, that's a universal theme.
30 years
Yeah.
later, you're still going to be craving that
Right.
clarity. Would you mind playing for us?
Yeah, of course, of course. Play a little sneak peek. Right here. Always concerned. When will I learn? 23 in about a week, and I'm wondering what that's supposed to mean. 3 shots of alcohol, numbing thoughts I can't control. Now I'm tasting words that burn my throat. They say it's just the age. Well, I just gotta say, I'm wasting all this time. I try to find myself in this light. No, 3 a.m. and I'm alone, wishing I could know who I'm supposed to be. Can someone please give me clarity? That is
It's so relatable. I think that we've all been there, and I know for me, my journey really began at 22, which was, you know, and for me, it's so hard to find that call. How are you finding that? Are you seeking? Are you finding? Where do you find your answers?
Yeah, I think I'm still finding them
Yeah.
along the
Where
way.
do you go to?
You know, I think a big thing for me is trusting myself with my music. And for a long time, I always knew I had the passion and the drive to do it, but I think I didn't 100% let myself give in to the passion. And I think I find more answers when I trust that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And I just keep writing. And I like to say when I write a song, I almost don't really know what it's about until after I write it. And then I read it and I'm like, wow, that's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
So
It's like a meditation.
That's fantastic.
Exactly. It's like an outlet for me.
You captured 23 so well. I mean,
Yeah.
I turned 23
Thank
in a couple months, and it's exactly how I feel. You know, it's amazing. But I do love the point that you make, though, and I think it's a good point, which is that you don't necessarily have to see the entire staircase. If you can just sort of embrace where you are, that often sort of leads you into the next step and the next step and the next step. And before you know it, you've sort of climbed the entire staircase. So I do love that point. Yeah.
Wow. Steph, please tell everyone where they can find and follow you and get your music.
Yeah, so my stuff is up on Spotify and iTunes and Apple Music, YouTube, all the major ones. But my Instagram is @StephSandorMusic, so want to check it out.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
We appreciate the clarity. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.
Where can you watch the stories of people changing the world? EverTalk TV, the Netflix of talk. I'm Jessica Moyer, the co-founder and host of EverTalk TV, and I am thrilled to introduce you to America's first live video streaming talk show network.
Hello and welcome to Hashtag.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard.
Hi, and welcome to Life Masters. This is CEO with Anna David and Lauren Wallet.
You are watching Passion to Paycheck. Welcome back to On That Note.
Welcome to Defining Moments.
Welcome to my show, Serena Live.
And you're watching
How to Start! And welcome to another episode of Sipping the Tea.
We're bringing you inspiring stories to help you upgrade your life to the best level of success, health, and wealth.
You can binge watch and binge watch.
You can binge watch.
And you can binge watch. Binge watch. You can binge watch. Please binge watch. You can binge watch
And binge them on EverTalk TV. Thanks for coming.
Entertainment that will inspire, uplift, and empower you. Anytime, anywhere on EverTalk TV, your home for talk.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La. On Friday Feels, we talk a lot about dating, love, and relationships, and sometimes it's not so easy on Friday. Sometimes we're going through breakup, divorce, all kinds of things. We actually have Chef Crystal in the house who's going to help us deal with going through divorce, of all things. How does this go through with food and divorce?
Yes, thank you so much for having me this
coming on.
morning. So Chef's Guide to Divorce came about with a friend and I having a conversation about food and relationships with food as you're going through heartache or changes in your life. And so we wanted to put a different spin on it and make it fun and not just like eating your feelings in a bad way, but eating your feelings and taking the time to make mimosas, you know,
Drinking your way your
feelings, or really just understanding food and not just kind of sad about it. And just really excited about whatever the transition that was happening in your life.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just love that. You make such a great point because there's such a strong relationship between food and love. I mean, that's the first way that we receive love and give love often is through food.
Right.
Right? Yeah, so it's part of the work that you do also in that sort of guide to help people see the ways in which their eating and their relationships and their love are all interconnected.
Absolutely. So I work in entertainment as a private chef. So really this was just about me. And so I was able to take my experiences, a lot of the things that I do are around health and fitness. And so I thought, why not incorporate that because a lot of times when people think about health and fitness and food, they're like, it's not as good, it's not, they're not excited about it. So this was a way for me to just express my feelings and be excited about a healthy way of eating and not just eating a Ben and Jerry's in front of the TV watching Netflix.
So good. And you personally, in navigating being a single mother and going through a divorce, was there a go-to food that you found truly healing?
You know what I really loved to do was pasta sauces. I'm not a pasta person. I don't eat pasta. I do the zucchini zoodles and things like that. But I really love sauces. And so I wanted, what I loved about that of Chef's Guide was taking the time to make a sauce, going to the store, checking out recipes, doing things that took the time to do that while drinking a cocktail, chopping things up and really being in my feelings. And so that's what I loved to do, was really sauces.
We don't cook, and lots of people say that. But we have some of the best
chefs.
We have the great chefs and great restaurants. So tell us a little bit exactly. We need you in our lives. So tell us about everything you have here.
So this is a spiced pumpkin apple mimosa, and in the heart of pumpkin season. Please enjoy.
Spiced pumpkin. Forget the pumpkin latte.
Right?
I'll drink to this.
It is Friday.
It is Friday, so we've got a little bit of cinnamon and sugar on the rim. Oh, we've already started.
He's cut off.
Cinnamon and sugar.
Little cinnamon and sugar on the rim, and we topped it off with a tad bit of champagne. So
really good.
Wow. So we've got the spiced apple recipe on my website. It's really fun. It's a spiced spiced pumpkin apple that you can use in just about anything. Cocktails, breads. We've got some pumpkin scones here for you as well.
This is the perfect fall mimosa. I've never had anything like it.
Super good.
That is wonderful. And what are the scones?
So we've got just a pumpkin cranberry scone here for you. They're not gluten-free or sugar-free, but that's okay next time.
It's more fun.
It's more fun. Next divorce.
Chef's Guide to Divorce. We have to have a few guilty pleasures.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, Crystal, in the Chef's Guide.
So you can find me at chefsguidetodivorce.com, as well as Chef Crystal's World if you're looking for something fun and fancy, what I'm doing, traveling, kids, things like that. But Chef's Guide to Divorce, I'm on Instagram and Facebook.
So great. Oh my God.
Be sure to check out Chef Crystal and these incredibly
delicious
pumpkin scones.
Way to start the weekend.
Oh, so good. I'll drink to that. Double fisting.
There you go.
That's right.
My rescue coffee and my pumpkin mimosas. We are Good Morning La La Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. All of today's interviews are available as a podcast on iTunes. The whole show is streaming on EverTalk TV, on Apple TV, and Roku.
That's right. We are waking up the world together, you guys. Have a lovely weekend and make this day a divine day.
It's going to be a Good Morning La La Land.